comes to Pocono, there is one driver that always comes to mind, and that is Mark Martin, because he has finished here second 7 times, including in the June race when he lost out to Joey Logano. He's pretty good at this track, although Martin has, like we said, never won here. 51 starts, 0 wins, but he leads the way in top 5s and top 10s. His average 11th place at this track, and joining us now in the ESPN Pit Studio is Mark Martin. Thanks for joining us. How annoying is it when we keep pointing out to you the fact that you finished second here so many times but never won?
It's not that annoying, you know. I think that running second 7 times is pretty good. It sure beats running in the middle of the pack every time. The thing that is phenomenal is to run as good as we've run here, you think you would stumble around and win one. I mean, seriously. You know, the fastest car doesn't always win, and obviously you would think that one of those times when I didn't have the fastest car, I would have stumbled around and won one. But a lot of times we didn't have the fuel mileage in the early years, and you know, when we did have the fastest car, somebody that didn't have outdid us on fuel mileage or strategy or something and wound up winning.
I was talking to your crew chief on the line yesterday, and he said, man, I said, how's your car? He said, boy, Mark's really happy with it. It's just flat flying. But he started scratching his head. He said, he confused me just a little bit. I said, what happened? He says, we're on the radio giving him his lap times. He's just smoking. He says, the car's great. All of a sudden, he just spins out. So you didn't hit the wall. What happened there?
I ran out of talent, man. Listen. You know, I drive over my head all the time, and I get away with it most of the time. But we ran 3 laps, 51-23, 3 laps in a row, lap 7, lap 8, and lap 9. And I tried to run a 23 on lap 10, and the tires were giving up, and I about tore it up.
Now, I got to admit, I don't know what corner that was. Where was it at?
That was off of turn 1.
We just talked about turn 1.
Yeah, turn 1.
You're carrying over 200 mile an hour down there. You're on the brakes real hard. You're downshifting. You're doing all that stuff. So that corner used to always kind of suck me in there a little bit. And if I get in too deep, I'd slide up and get past. What do you think of that new shaped corner with no bumps down there now and all smooth, repaved?
It doesn't get me in trouble going in like it used to. Where it really gets hairy is the last part coming out, because you can get on the throttle so early down there and you're carrying so much speed at the exit of the corner that when you're coming out toward that wall, you know if that back end breaks, there's no way that you can save it and not hit the wall. And that's what happened. The back end broke, and when it came around and got it with the rear bumper cover and just kind of smash that in just a little bit.
Well, Brad, you know, sometimes you got to make a mistake to learn not to do it again.
Yeah, if you're smart.
So you'll probably remember that.
Yeah, if you're smart. Yeah. You know, Mark, you've been driving these cars for a long time, and we talk about some of these young guys coming in trying to figure out how to drive, you know, this generation of race car. What's the hardest thing about driving this race car, this particular race car, as opposed to cars you've driven in the past?
I think that, you know, in today's racing, it's not specific to this car, but in today's racing climate, racing in traffic, passing is the biggest challenge. Figuring out, having the ability to move your line around to be able to get a pass, because these cars are so fast now and so affected that if you just blow on these cars, they'll slip. And when you put a car out in front of them, you can imagine how that affects them. And it really makes it difficult to pass. They're so close to the same speed. So finding a way around somebody that's in front of you is a challenge today.
Well, that brings me back to what I was going to say earlier. Joey Logano used his bumper to get around you in the race when we were here last time. How did that affect the way that maybe you will race him when you're around him?
I hope that I have a faster car than him. It's kind of, the tables are turned. In other words, I wasn't as fast as Joey. And if I have a faster car than him here and he's leading the race, I won't have to touch him to pass him.
I like that. That's a good answer. That's very good.
I'd have bumped him.
Surprise, surprise.
When he knocked him out of the way, I'd have pulled that baby back down and wham, right there, man. That's it.
I get the hard questions. There's the oldest driver. You're going to ready to win?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
They told me that in my ear, so don't hit me. All right. You were going to hit me once a long time ago, but don't hit me today. Right?
I'm going to tell you guys. I want you to look at Mark Martin right there. Look at those eyes. That's focus, baby. Look at that, huh?
I'm really lucky to be driving, such great equipment now, and Toyota's done a great job. That's one of the things why our cars are so fast right now. Toyota's done a great job on our engine, got our horsepower up there. These things are coming down these straightaways like you wouldn't believe. So I just feel really fortunate, and, we've got a great race team. Rodney Childers,
Good. Yes, sir.
That guy is sharp. I'm amazed. I had no idea until I got a chance to work with him.
Every time you get interviewed with a new team, I notice you say, this is the best team I've ever drove for.
Yeah.
Is this the best team you've ever drove for?
This is as good a race team as I had in 2009.
Okay.
Well, you know what?
Wow. That's big.
You seem to either have been reinvented or reinvented yourself. Race teams not only hire you now for your driving ability to win races, but it seems like your work ethic or your workout, you bring so much more to a race team. Are you enjoying that part of it, helping build a program as much as you did driving in a set program?
Well, I know, now that at this stage in my career, if I can help an organization, then that makes them need me. Not just to drive the car, because I'm doing all I can driving the race car, but I'm not doing what Jimmy Johnson's obviously. So
nobody is.
So it isn't quite enough. But if I can bring something to the race team and the organization, so that when I'm done there, they are happy, they're glad that I was there, then that's a success for me.
And your two teammates, Martin Truex Jr. 7th, Clint Boyer 10th in points. They do rely on you. They do turn to you for your expertise and your experience. How do you think that you've made them better?
Only in their minds. I have challenged them by, putting some fast laps out there once in a while. And I've worked with them. They're great teammates, by the way. They really, really work together as good as any organization that I've been a part of. And, I think that we push each other. I want to be able to keep up with those young boys because, I want to earn my keep. And they certainly want to beat the old guy because they should be beating me.
We just had Carl Edwards on set, Mark. We were talking to him. He's struggling a little bit right now, obviously. He lives in Columbia, Missouri. He's not around Carolina at all. He's starting to question that just a little bit. I've noticed that you now are 50-50 now between Florida and North Carolina. You built yourself a brand new airplane hangar. You got a new place to live up in Carolina. Do you think that moving to Carolina a little bit now is helping your performance with this race team?
I don't really think that it makes that big a difference in the performance, but it's definitely good for the morale. And what I'm doing is investing in my future. I'm not always going to be able, to drive these race cars, and I want to be a part of something in racing. It's my life,
Yep.
And broadcasting is not my forte. So I want to do something with race teams. So I want to be around and to try to bring value to MWR, and I want them to be glad that I'm a part of it. So my being around from that standpoint, I think, is important.
Can anybody run down that 48 car? It looks like they're starting to march in that direction of finding some stuff that's making them really, really good.
What they did at Indy, Skip.
Yeah.
They got the garage shaking. What they did at Indy, and they may be able to continue that, or it may not be that hot. But if they continue that, everybody's in trouble.
Mark Martin, thank you so very much for joining us. Good luck too when you get back out there today. Maybe today. We're going to say today. Maybe today's the day you finally get that win. By the way, I'm looking out to the back here. We are playing a little rain game, but I see blue sky.
You said that earlier.
Yeah.
I want you to turn around. They're out drying the track. I want you to look.